Hagupit continues to near the Philippine coastline on today, the 5th of December, 2014, making this update right around 08 Universal Standard Time. Do appreciate you tuning in with WesternPacificWeather.com for some of the latest information on the storm, but I always do want to remind you to check in with the official agencies of Pagasa. Also, do not forget to listen to your local warning agencies, because right now, this storm system, despite everybody saying that it has been downgraded, and it has, we have seen some slight weakening in that center of circulation, it is still a very severe storm system. And you take a look at the latest satellite imagery, we still have a defined eye around that center of circulation. We have a continued improvement in the eye wall as we go ahead through the evening hours. So it is no longer the monster super typhoon we were seeing on Thursday. Definitely a potent and severe storm system. Already outer rain bands starting to be seen across parts of Samar down through northern Mindanao. And the fact is, these rain bands are going to persist over the duration of the next 24 hours as this storm system comes ashore, with expected landfall not until Saturday afternoon in the evening hours, where we're going to see landfall with that inner eye wall. Good news, people are making preparations. There has been forced evacuations. This is coming out of Leyte, people lining up to get some gas there. This is one of the images from inside one of the evacuation centers in Tacloban, relayed by a Philippine Star, and what you can see is a lot of people really taking this storm seriously. Actually, getting reports out of Tacloban City. Many of the streets really are just empty this evening, and it's kind of a 180 from what we've seen just a year and 1 month ago, the night prior to Typhoon Haiyan. We had a lot of people still out in the streets there in some of these eastern coastal cities, but it looks like this time people are definitely prepared and getting ready. Just scrolling through some of the images people are relaying here on Twitter under the evacuation center hashtag, and you can see where these places are being set up and people are heading towards. Big question at this time is, where is that center of circulation going to be coming on shore? And it does look like into central and southern portions of Samar. That's where the worst of the weather is going to be, as far as that inner core of the eye wall. Likely here on Saturday evening, we could be seeing winds gusting well over 250 kilometers per hour at landfall, but also that threat of storm surge, especially in those coastal areas just north of the center of circulation. I know if you have watched my previous updates, we've been saying that the track is still quite uncertain, but now we are getting the crunch time. It's less than 24 hours before the storm system is going to near the coast, and this is fair confidence of where exactly that inner core of the eye wall is going to be coming on shore. What I want to note, though, is that even outside that inner core, we still have a large wind field on this. You have the eye wall, you have the inner part here, and then you have the typhoon strength winds and these high cloud tops circulating around that center. Anybody caught up in that still could see damaging winds and even some stronger thunderstorms well away from the storm, especially in the northern periphery with the interaction with the northeast monsoon. Some of those thunderstorms could produce damaging winds and even the threat of tornadoes. So even if you are removed from that center, you still want to be ready for that threat of some damaging weather. But let's break down where the storm system is. Sure, and we have Borongan City here into south and central Samar. I think that this city is really going to take the brunt of this storm system. Now, it really depends on if they take it, or a little bit farther towards the north, the city of Oras starts to get impacted by that northern portion of the eye wall. But you do want to remember, wherever that center line comes on shore, and if we do look at it coming in right like this, those areas just north of the center of circulation, that's where the bays and the inlets could be seeing that highest threat of storm surge. Some areas as high as 4 meters high. Combined with the high tide, we're talking about a serious risk of coastal flooding, and that is why really you have to check in with the local area officials, talk about evacuation shelters, and at least get away from the immediate coastline. Now, it's not just here, though. We're also looking at a second landfall after the storm tracks a little bit farther there towards the west, and it starts to push off towards southern Luzon. We got about 200,000 people that live off there towards the city of Legazpi, and they could be impacted by some sort of surge, at least in the immediate coastal areas, or some damaging winds. And plus, not to mention all these other towns located a little bit farther inland in Visayas, where you're going to be still seeing that threat of some heavy rainfall. Talk about the rainfall here, because it truly is going to be quite excessive, especially in eastern portions of Samar. This is just a 12-hour rain total, over 200 millimeters being picked up here by the model coming from Weather Manila, run out of the University of the Philippines. And you can see right near the immediate coastal areas, yeah, 200 millimeters are and if we look ahead to the next 12-hour period, we're still looking at yet more precipitation from 8 p.m. p.m. to 8 a.m. on Sunday, extending across much of the island, then over there towards Visayas. And in these areas in the black you're seeing on your screen, that's where you're going to be seeing not only threat these damaging winds, but also flooding and even landslides. Hey, the storm system, I guess in short, guys, is definitely one that cause some rather severe damage as it does continue to track over the country. And let's scroll ahead here and just take a look at the wind flow on Friday and the Saturday, making that landfall by Saturday evening, as I mentioned earlier, there in the central portions of Samar, right around Borongan City, south of Oras. And where you're going to be seeing that onshore wind flow, once again indicated here, that's where you're seeing that highest threat of storm surge. Storm continues to track off here towards the west. You could even see a surge event on western coastlines as that wind does wrap around, although it will not be as bad as off here towards the east. And then that rainfall continues to hit the mountains here. That piles up, and that's why we're going to see such a high area of accumulation. Scrolling through Sunday into Monday, our storm continues to track over the islands here. I think it's going to stay south of the Metro Manila area. I know if we take a look at the Joint Typhoon Warning Center track, it takes a little bit farther here towards the north. Maybe steering a little bit farther off there, but even if this track does follow through, by the time it gets over towards the Metro Manila area, it should be a much weaker storm system, not the typhoon we're going to be seeing at landfall, but still enough to blow around some debris. Granted, I am making this update on Friday. We still have 3 to 4 days before that happens. That is the other big issue. This is moving at an extremely slow pace, so we're talking about an abundance of moisture coming overhead and really falling out of this storm system. So hey guys, if you are ahead of this, I know you're waiting for more updates. We're gonna have updates throughout the rest of the week, and probably 3 to 4 a day if we can manage it. Please check in at the website. Also, more videos here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. We're definitely going to try to relay all that info there to you. All right, stay safe out there.